Today on episode 14 of the Home of Play podcast, PlayStation 5 games event finally happens, Sony loses big in court, and Destiny 2's new expansion / upgrade plan. All that and more. What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to episode 14 of the Home of Play podcast, where two best friends join forces to give you all the latest in PlayStation rumors, news, and reviews. And that's because we're true PlayStation fans. I'm your host, Steve, and with me I am joined by the king of platinum trophies himself, yet again, Christopher.
Hello, hello.
If you like this and would like to support the brand, please subscribe to your podcast service of choice. And as well, of course, if you could please tell friends, family, small animals, if you find them in the park, just take them. They're yours. They don't have a collar. It doesn't matter. Bring them home. Tell them, make them watch the podcast. All of this is appreciated. And be my friend. I need friendship. On today's episode, we have 5 topics to discuss. Before all that, as always, let's begin with what we've been up to this last week. And Chris, I believe we'll start with you.
Not too much this week. Back at work now in the office. COVID stuff's, I guess, dying down right now, so we'll see how that goes. But I guess, yeah, I've been playing a little bit of Far Cry 5. I'm probably at the 2/3 mark, maybe 70%. It's going good. It's a time killer. I'm just trying to find something to space out my time until I guess Last of Us comes out, which apparently is getting great reviews.
Yeah, and we're looking 97, I think, on Metacritic right now.
Yeah, and that's like 80 reviews too, so that's pretty.
Yeah, 82 or 84.
80 plus. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Other than that, I haven't played too much. I did a little bit more of the XCOM Chimera Squad. I think I'm getting to the end of that one. Not too sure how long that game is actually, but I'd have to say I'm probably around the 70% mark as well on that one. And then I guess it was a Days of Play Sony sale just started, I think, this week. So I picked up Rage 2 because that was pretty cheap, and I enjoyed the first one. And then I also got Life is Strange Season 2, which that one's always a good story-driven game, which
I liked the first Life is Strange a lot, actually. I just, for whatever reason, this not being the same characters, and I understand why they didn't. But yeah, I couldn't bring myself to play this one.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't know much about it. I played the demo that came out before where he plays some kid in his room and playing with toys and stuff like that, which doesn't seem to have anything to do with the game as of right now anyway. So I'm not too sure the connection between the two, but I'm still on episode 1 of that and just taking my time, enjoying the scenery. And
kind of like the demo for Final Fantasy 15, where you're miniature and you're fighting toys. And
isn't Titan in that too?
At the very
end?
Not Titan, but it was the Onion Knight or whatever they call the Black Knight thing.
But Titan made a whatever. Anyways,
wasn't it Carbuncle? I can't remember.
Well, Carbuncle I think was in it, but
yeah,
I thought there was a shot of Titan in it too. But
maybe I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was like playing Toy Story or something. I remember because you're in like a house or in a
room. Yeah,
that was a weird demo. Yeah,
it was a really weird.
It's like a tech demo.
Right at the very end, I think you finally turn normal and then have like a real fight. I'm like, what was the point of all this other stuff?
Yeah, I don't know what they were doing with that.
Like, do you understand what a demo means?
Yeah, it's usually a little snippet of the game.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Not much going on this week. So how about yourself? What have you been playing or up to this week?
Finally found a little bit of time. So I finished the second Palace in Persona 5.
Yeah.
I just got to send out the calling cards. So I guess I'm not totally done, but I did what me and you always do. Clear the whole thing as fast as you can.
Yeah, in the first 3 days.
Yes. And then so I just have to put out the card, go back, finish the fight, and then spend the rest of my month maxing up stats and whatnot and building confidants.
You're in for some excitement too with that one because that boss is quite a bit different than the original.
I saw a little bit, not like I didn't watch a video for it, but I saw a quick thing in a review video So I know there's going to be changes. So I'm looking forward to that. Then I played Gloomhaven on Steam, the actual game. Uh, so they basically made a digital weird standalone game that's supposed to be Gloomhaven. So I tried that. It was not like the board game. It is and it isn't. Like it doesn't share the same scenarios. The map works totally different. You just like keep randomly going. I didn't like it, so after an hour and a half, I got a refund.
Who made it? Is it the same
It-
developer?
No, it's like a real like a game studio. I just don't know who did it.
Okay.
I didn't look far enough, but it was kind of a no name, and they're having a hard time with it because it doesn't even have all the classes or anything. I don't even think it has. No, it doesn't even have the full starting 6 yet.
It seems a little early jump to the gun with that.
They called it early access, but like it's been out since 2019 and they're still way behind. So it is what it is. Fine. I'm not going to talk badly about it, but it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And maybe that's my own fault for not doing the research, but thank you, Steam, for the refund. It was much appreciated 30 minutes later.
The Steam refund policy works pretty good, I'll be honest.
Honestly, I wish that was a feature for everything because then
Yeah.
I feel like we'd have less predatory game companies taking advantage of us.
And they're pretty flexible too, because I think the recommendation is less than 2 hours of gameplay and within 2 weeks, I think, of purchasing it.
I don't
Something
know
like
the
that.
2 weeks, but you're right about the 2 hours.
There's a time frame, and I know I did a refund on a game, and I had like 3.5 hours, and they let it go through.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh wow.
So they definitely are a little bit more flexible in that regards, unlike Sony, which you'll soon hear about in one of our articles.
Yeah. So I did that, and then after that, and this is all in the same day, I played Civ 6 on my PC and played that, and it's not so far like I'm not good at those games because a lot of the numbers and statistics and needs go over my head. Like there's just so
They throw
much.
a lot of information at you.
So every time they're like, you need more housing, I'm like, okay, I hope this solves itself because I'm making more military. Because every time I play that game, I take over the world. Like, spoiler alert. So I played that, enjoyed what I did. I think I screwed up some of the settings because I had it set to standard. I'm like, I forgot how slow this game is. Oh, wow, did I forget how slow this game is. So I don't know if I'd say it's better than 5, but I also haven't played with it more than 5, so it's not fair for me to compare yet. But I enjoyed my time with it. Like you said, I think we're all just looking for some filler till Last of Us drops.
Yeah, that's pretty soon now too, right? When is it? Next week? This
Yep,
week?
it's literally a week from today.
Jeez. Yeah, I haven't pre-ordered it or anything yet, but
Someone's on holidays that week, so I'm gonna be waiting at midnight on Thursday, being like, "Give it to me."
you getting the digital version or the physical copy?
Digital.
Digital. It's one of those ones that you know you're probably not going to want to refund or anything.
And again, my hope for the future is it's backwards compatible with PS5. So yeah, if I get a digital, then I just will have it on the PS5.
Mm-hmm. Are
Theoretically.
they releasing like a deluxe version or anything like that? Do you know?
Yeah, there's a digital deluxe. It's only $10 more, but I don't need like soundtracks and avatars. None of that
Costumes.
stuff. Yeah, it didn't seem like anything. I guess they said there's a couple of in-game things like manuals that would help you, but I'll just
Whatever.
get the base.
Yeah, base game's enough. You don't need much more than that.
Mm-hmm. So other than that, nothing. Basic week. Yeah, just getting ready for holidays. Excited for that, and catching up on some Personas and Civs and Last of Us. All that good stuff.
Good variety.
Yeah. Okay, enough of our amazing, fantastically entertaining lives. Let us get into the news yet again. This week in news, we got the 5 topics, like I said before. We'll start with topic number 1, the big one, the one you're all probably frothing at the mouth about, PlayStation 5's game event. So this guy dropped yesterday. Me and Chris have both watched it. We're going to go a little further in depth in a bonus episode. Our first one since the catastrophe that was Final Fantasy VII review bonus episode.
For shame.
We don't want to bring it up. So we basically are going to do a little more deep dive, talk about, our overall feelings. I'm very I'm interested in the end result because I feel like me and Chris coming from different ends of the spectrum might make for better content because then I feel like no one feels left out. So right now we're just going to talk a little bit about it. We didn't really get any quotes or anything for this one just because it is what it is. So yeah, Chris, we watched this, you watched this.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch it live or after?
I caught the last like 15, 20 minutes of it, and then I
Okay.
had to go back and watch it from the beginning. And then I've watched it maybe one other time after that already too. I wanted to watch it twice at least just to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Okay.
So yeah, from by my count, I think they announced 27 titles, with 13 of them actually having dates set as to when they were going to be released. And by dates, I mean loosely like fall season or
Placeholders.
2021,
Yeah.
2022. Of the 27, I think there were still 14 of them that didn't even have a date. So there was one or two that might probably launch with the system. But I can't confirm that or anything. So how did you enjoy it?
Okay, so I didn't watch it live. I waited till it was all over, and I'm kind of happy I did. So basically, because I didn't watch it live, I had the joys of watching on YouTube and fast forwarding through a lot of it. No, I shouldn't say a lot of it. I don't want people thinking I like did whole 15-minute fast forward chunks. It's just certain things would come up like Deathloop that I have zero interest in. So, and which is weird, and I could be wrong when this comes out. I could be wrong, because I really like Dishonored, the first one.
It does look like a lot like Dishonored, and also that other one, We Few. What is that one? The We Happy Few.
That wasn't them.
No, but it looks like the art style. Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
it
I get
reminds me
that.
like with the people in the masks and stuff.
Yeah.
It gave me that feel of it.
So yeah, I skipped through that and a couple other things, mainly the indie stuff that I know I'm not going to have too much input on. But overall, I came away from it okay. Like it was something. I'm not as overly positive as so many people I've already heard from. I think a lot of people are hyping this as like some people are saying the greatest showing of all time for a games like kind of conference, but I just totally disagree. But again, this is my mentality of okay, I'm not an indie guy. I don't really care about indie games. So that's almost half the games right there. The other thing for me is like I don't really like I don't want to call it childish games or games for kids, but that kind of feel, and that was a lot of them as well. Well, and some of them go hand in hand. They're indie and kind of younger audience ish, and then yeah, like when you're left with the like, what are the AAA titles? I think I came away Demon Souls, and what was the other one I was talking about?
Godfall.
Thank you. Godfall, I don't think it's going to be a 10 out of 10. I honestly think that could come out of a 5 or a 6, but if I have a new console and nothing to play on it, and we'll see, like we don't know our full launch lineup, then I do feel it's something I'm probably going to try. More probably just because I keep hearing multiplayer and yada, yada, yada. So what was your takeaway then?
For me, I was pleasantly happy with what I saw. I think this was one of the better showings for a launch announcement, like a console launch announcement. I mean, it's hard to compare it against, was it last year or the year before, where it's like they showed like Horizon and God of War and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, the system's already been out for how many years? You just want really good games. I think this one did surprisingly well for what they showed for the new launch system.
I agree. I think you were the one that pointed out that basically said, is it going to like, because it's a reveal and they're trying to talk to everyone, did they show something for everyone? Yes.
Yeah, I think they hit the market for a little bit for everybody for the most part.
So I think that was a good way of thinking of it. I think the negative thing that like I come from it, and this is again, like it comes from my opinion, so it's a little biased, but then it's like, did this conference sell me on the console? And it's like, well, no, none of these games were a God of War game. They didn't seem like a Last of Us 2 game. Like it was kind of weak on that end. So are you talking to a lot of people at once? Yeah, and you're doing a good job at it. But for people like me that know what they want, like, yeah, I kind of walked away like, oh, like, okay, like, I'm not going to get Kina. I'm not going to get Jet. I'm not going to get Solar Ash or Polar. I can't remember which one that was.
Yeah, Solar Ash.
Solar Ash. I'm not interested. So a lot of the stuff I was just like, okay, next. And then I'd be disappointed again. And then next. And it's Oddworld. And I'm like, okay, like that's a thing.
They were definitely trying to get more of their first party games out there, as well as, I guess, more games that have been loyal to the PlayStation.
They were definitely taking advantage of the new PlayStation Studios logo.
Oh, for sure.
Like, holy moly.
And did you know there's like a cross, triangle, circle, and square on the controllers? Because they showed that in between every single.
Yeah, and I couldn't believe more people didn't bring that up. That was really annoying because it always had music with it and lasted way too long.
Yeah,
like it didn't.
Some
need
of them
to
were
be
really
15
long,
seconds.
some were quicker. But
And like I don't. Again, that could be a production thing.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Because it's live. Like they needed time to transition. I I don't know behind the scenes. It just was kind of overly obvious and odd, like off-putting to me. But overall, like, yeah, we'll get into this more in the next episode, or the bonus episode, if you will. Do you have any final thoughts on it?
no, that's good for now.
Topic number 2, PS5 is how cool, ice cold. This one comes from, I couldn't even pronounce that for the life of me. Take it away, Chris.
A new patent from the PS5 dev kit has been added to the WIPO World Intellectual Property Organization database. And while it doesn't delve too deeply into technical details, it does show us how the machine is being cooled. It looks like we have 6 fans divided evenly between the 2 wings of the PlayStation 5 dev kit. 3 of the fans are dedicated to cooling the power supply and 3 for the APU. We also have a vapor chamber, which will use advanced liquid cooling to keep the PS5 APU cool.
Yay. No more
Technology.
yeah, no more flames coming out of my console.
No.
Not that I've actually had really good luck. The only heat issue would be my PS3. I had one of the original PS3s, and I got the orange or yellow light of death, at the end. And I guess the guy who I had fix it like twice because I kept trying just said, GTA 5 and one other game like near the end of its life just demanded so much from it that it would heat to the point that the solder
Would melt.
and then you'd get the yellow light. So yeah, like this is good. The cooler it stays, obviously the better. I don't think there's too much to say about this.
No, there's
It's
not
just-
much to say
it's
about it.
nice
Just-
if it is to be believed, and hopefully it is, then all we know is like I don't have to worry hopefully about that kind of crap anymore.
Yeah, hopefully future proofs it essentially.
Yeah.
Like how you try to buy a motherboard that's more expensive than you can really afford, but you're trying to future proof yourself for at least for 3 years.
Yeah.
So you don't have to buy a new one.
And I just hope that it doesn't sound like an airplane taking off anymore.
That'd be nice. I remember when mine didn't always sound like that, but
Yeah.
it gets to that now.
Oh, it always does.
Digital games is okay, but as soon as you put a disc in there too, it's just like overdrive. It's not Dreamcast level of painful noise, but it can get there depending on the moment.
Yeah. So yeah, that's some news of secret patent goodness, but we're gonna keep this train rolling. Going topic number 3. Sony gone did a dirty. This one comes from Kotaku, and we'll give it to Chris.
Sony Europe, of which the company's Australian branch is a subsidiary, has been fined 3.5 million Australian dollars, or in comparison, 2.4 million US, after it was found to have presented false and misleading representations to local customers who were trying to refund PlayStation game purchases. As Gizmodo Australian reported, the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, the ACCC, took Sony to court last year over the case, and a finding last week determined that Sony has now been found guilty of misleading 4 customers who were told by a customer service representative that Sony was not required to refund games once they had been downloaded, or if 14 days had passed since its purchase. Under Australian consumer law, consumers definitely are entitled to refunds beyond that time period. The ACCC chair Rod Sims said of the decision, consumer guarantee rights do not expire after a digital product has been downloaded and certainly do not disappear after 14 days or any other arbitrary date claimed by the game store or developer. Sony was also found to have breached consumer law by telling other customers that individual game developers needed to authorize these refunds, or that Sony would only provide refunds as credit for the PlayStation Store. As well as the fine, Sony must also pay the ACCC's legal costs.
Ooh. So that was a bit of a mouthful, but basically it sounds like Sony owes some people some monies.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if this is just broad spectrum, any type of game, or if this was from a particular, like a specific game.
It sounds like it's more just their policy in general, like lying and being like it could be one game, but to me, from what I've read, it sounds like just different people, different games, but all wanting what their country legally permits, and Sony lying and saying, "Well, no, we don't do this, and it doesn't work like that." And it's like, "Well, no, in Australia it does."
Oh no, for sure.
And you need to play the game nicely. And we just talked about this, like. This should be a thing.
This should be how it is.
Like if you beat Last of Us 2, you played 40, 50, 60 hours and you want a refund. Well, no, it's like eating a full hamburger and then telling the manager you didn't like it.
Yeah.
But
if someone tries to do a refund within like the first 2 or 3 hours of a game,
yeah,
it seems more than reasonable to
for sure
allow that. And they have ways to tell how long you played a game.
Yep.
There's definitely they could tell how long you've been connected to their server playing that game. So,
and I just don't see how there's a bad thing. You have better customer service, happier consumers. They're more likely, like, if you give them that money back, they're probably going to put in something else they're actually going to enjoy, which then might get you DLC downloads, expansion like purchases, and avatars, themes. Like, I don't know, but it could go anywhere like that.
Yeah, I've tried in the past to get a refund for, I can't remember what game it was. I can't remember. It might have been Fallout 76. I tried to get the refund, but it's like they look at you and you're pretty much like, you can't get a refund once you've downloaded it. It's like, are you serious?
Yeah.
This is shit. This is not what we were promised at all.
Oh, I know.
So I wish our rules were like almost like this exact same way.
Yeah.
But they pretty much just look at you and go, you're not worthy of a refund.
And I mean, it sucks because, this sounds like a drop in the bucket for them probably.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not going to change, but hopefully they'll just play better in Australia and then the rest of us still have to suffer. So
maybe they'll take a lead from it and change it across the board. It'd be nice. Like
yeah,
I said,
it would be nice.
I mean, Steam, like I said, we talked about Steam before. I mean, theirs seems perfectly reasonable too. Like I think it's within 2 hours. And like I've said, I've gone over the 2 hours and they still approve the thing. So they're not like overly strict on it by any means. And then I can't remember I think theirs might also be 14 days or 3 weeks or something like that. Seems reasonable. If I'm going to buy a game, I should be trying it within that first 3 weeks.
Oh, and it saved me. Not that I buy a lot of PC games, but like I got the refund for PUBG.
Oh yeah.
Because they came at me too and they're like, "Well, why do you want a refund?" And I just said like, "This game is bad." Like it not even just from like my opinion, this thing doesn't run.
It was bad, especially when you bought it.
That
was like early on, and it was pretty shit. And it's definitely better now, but
yeah,
it's still not the most optimized.
No, like
game.
I feel bad for him sometimes, but I'm like, there's a reason Fortnite took your lunch.
Oh yeah.
But there's enough of that. Sony got sued. They lost. So we're going on to topic number 3. No Man's Sky's universe just got bigger. This one comes from IGN. No Man's Sky will enable crossplay across every one of its available platforms from tomorrow, being June 11th. Tomorrow will also see the game join the Xbox Game Pass program on Xbox One and Windows 10. Announced in a press release, players playing the game through VR, PC, PS4, Xbox, Windows 10, and GOG will be able to connect online. The update is timed to coincide with the game being added to Game Pass to allow everyone in the community to benefit from the influx of new players that Game Pass brings. Aside from the benefit of being able to connect with previously unavailable friends on other platforms, this change means that the likes of huge planetary bases built on high end PCs will now be available to visit for those on consoles. This update also adds general improvements to the game, including speech to text, improved lobbies and fire teams, and a set of other tweaks to multiplayer, VR, and the game as a whole. What do you think, Chris?
I'm actually more excited for this. This is not a game that I've owned.
Okay, so you've never owned it before.
I've never owned it. I have one buddy I work with who swears by it. He's like, it's amazing now. Like, don't remember back in the days of when all the things that were promised were broken to us. This game is great and all that kind of stuff. So I'm actually more tempted to play this now. Or if anything, I can get the, what is it, like $3 to get Xbox Game Pass and just try it with that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've heard all the good things. Like back in the day, if this came out back in the day, people would be going, "What the hell?" Because saying the game has multiplayer, it didn't really have multiplayer from what I understand back in the day.
No.
Like, yeah, you could technically all be in the same, I guess, universe, but the chances of you actually interacting with another person was like, you more or less would see a planet that somebody might have named, I think.
Yeah, and even then, like, I think it was found out later that it could only store so much data, so it was deleting people's stuff.
Yeah, I forgot about that too.
Yeah, there was a lot of, like, frowny faced stuff coming from that.
That's the problem of procedurally generated everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's exciting to hear this stuff. I have been more tempted to try it. I don't know what the price is right now on any of the systems, but like I said, maybe subscribe to Game Pass for a month and see what it's like. I'm to be honest though, I'm a little bit tired of like the survival harvesting type of gameplay thing.
I don't have a sense of where it is now. I played it at launch. I own it.
Yeah, I think you have it on PlayStation, right?
So I could go into it anytime, but I only know it launched, and it didn't feel that survival-y. It felt like Minecraft with a weird laser gun, and there was really no reason to do anything, but you just did it to keep your plane going. And I did love like the feeling of leaving a planet. I've said from the get-go that if this game was VR, like I would probably buy a VR headset.
Oh yeah.
I think it might be now. Well, yeah, it is.
Yeah, the one buddy that I'm talking about, he has it on VR.
And I feel like that would be the way I want to play it. Like that would be so cool to like leave a planet in VR and be in the ship and it's like doing its thing and and then like the black sky hitting you and yeah, I just like I feel like that would be my like best experience with VR probably.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the game other than the horrible things from the get-go and then the good things they've slowly added. So I don't know. Is there enough of like a story in the game? Like,
from my original thing? No, like I couldn't remember one.
Are there in-game challenges? Is there?
I think there is now, but like at the time, yeah, there was like no point to anything. It was,
and that's
very
the thing
bad.
Is I need at least some sort of point for me to be interested in it.
It felt very much like Minecraft, where like the point is just that you're playing it.
Yeah, you're playing it and you're just making your own world as you go type thing.
Yeah,
that's fine, but I find you have to be in the mood for that type of.
Oh, for sure. Like that game was very mellow. Like I'd give it like bonus points to that. Like if you want to just be chill and do some shit for the sake of doing it, that's the game.
Yeah.
Like even the music was chill. Like the feeling of like I said, leaving the planet or going into the planet, you're like, ah.
How long's this one been out now? It's just like 3 years, 4 years, 3 years?
I'm going to say 3 probably, yeah, at least.
So it's, I mean, sometimes it gets to a point where it's like you're expecting a sequel to come out. But I mean, if they're actually actively adding this much content constantly.
This one's such a weird one because it had such bad press, but it's also one of the ones that have like one of the few successful stories of coming back around. So I could see it going either way. Honestly, like when you said sequel, my first initial is like, oh wow, like would anyone want to like go through this again?
Yeah.
But then they are the turnaround story, right? Like they're the underdog, they prevailed at the end. So maybe they would. Like I said, either way, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, the release date I guess was August 2016, so it'll be 4 soon.
Ooh, well.
which is it's surprising. I guess this is almost like you got live service games now.
Yeah.
This might be like the perfect example of a live service game that's really turned it around.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't intended like that in the beginning, because it was back in 2016, live service wasn't a thing until EA started throwing it out there as, hey, this is our goal. Release half-baked games and it'll
Was
get
it
better
not
over
though? Because
time.
when did Destiny 1
2016?
come?
Destiny 1, I mean, technically, yeah, it was well, I guess it was kind of a live service game.
I would say it is.
Yeah, I guess it was.
Division 1, when did that come out? That's a service game.
I don't know if you've had that monumental of...
Like, I don't think the term was
Improvement?
being thrown around as
no.
much as it
No,
nowadays.
it definitely wasn't.
So
Yeah, I guess those ones were too, but I don't remember them being as monumental as...
Mhm.
Like, this game... The one advantage to this, though, is you pay for No Man's Sky, and you've gotten all these updates for free. Whereas Destiny and the Division, you'd actually have to pay.
Oh, Destiny, we know you got to pay.
Didn't you know you have to pay for this?
Oh, my gosh. Because I think I tried to keep up to date on the first Destiny, and my wall did not thank me for it.
Oh, no, it was definitely difficult.
Oh, they
having
shook
to
it down.
release a
I mean,
new
I
thing.
get it. It was an Activision.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Not anymore, though.
Yeah, yay.
But yeah, like this is almost like the true first live service game that you pay for the game, and it's just they've improved it over and over again.
'Cause I like-
not charging a single thing more to anybody.
I liked what you said before with like how it's the first turnaround live service game, and yeah, like this is everything Anthem wishes it was.
Oh God, yeah.
I don't know why, but what you said made me have to like shit on Anthem a little bit more.
Have had her
And
release the shits.
well, because like I'm one of the guys that like enjoyed Anthem. I think it had something.
I did too.
It had something, but like everything else was wrong.
It was all on the surface.
Yes.
There's no depth to the game.
No. And like the gameplay was fun. It was great for like that part. That was the part I think that kept me coming back. I like the combo system. I like working with others.
And
if
just flying around, and it was beautiful environment.
But like the load screens, and again,
Ugh,
the next consoles, right? Like that would solve so many
for
problems.
sure.
But like just so many problems. And like you said, the story was bad. It didn't feel like a BioWare game. It was short, and like, which don't get me wrong, Destiny 1 had the same problems, but then they just kept tripping. So like they couldn't release more, and then they're talking about doing a remake, and then just recently we hear like, okay, like they're going to re-release it, but like they don't really have an idea still, and they're like don't expect anytime soon. I'm
And
like,
it doesn't sound like they
this
have a
game
huge
came
team.
out. Yeah, and like I said, this game came out like what, a year or two ago already, and you
Yeah.
still like are telling people don't expect anything soon. Like by the time you come out, we're all on the PS5 with new probably games of a service and things that we're actually interested in. Like, let it die.
Yeah.
Like just. I love the puppy, but put the gun to the puppy's head and let it go. Like,
Focus on Dragon Age. Get that right.
yeah,
I'm not a big Dragon Age
That's a
guy,
good
but
thing.
I respect it. So it's like, focus on that one. Do that one right.
Yeah.
It needs to be done right.
Dragon Age, yeah, it's a weird one for me. I love Dragon Age 1. I did not like 2. And then 3 came out to like, Like, it just, yeah, I don't know. Something about, it was called Inquisition, right?
Yeah. Is it technically part of the trilogy, though? Like, is it?
It wasn't.
I thought
I
it was
think
his
it
own
is,
thing.
but it's its own thing. It played very much. It felt like it was trying to come back to like how 1 was on the PC. I just did not enjoy like the way they set that game up. Not to mention like BioWare, much like Bethesda, just really needs to get on making a better graphics engine.
So is the next one then Dragon Age 4 or 3? I guess it's 4.
It is 4, so
Okay.
They just didn't
focus
call-
on that one, whatever
Yeah.
the newest one is, and make it right. Inquisition was definitely a big change,
yeah.
big diversion from the previous two. So.
And I know some people that like the hardcore RPG liked it a lot. I thought the graphics were just really rough. They have the same problem as like some of the Elder Scrolls, where it's just ugly characters.
Don't get me on Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
I jump into those games and I get too over. And I'm one that plays a lot of open world games, but getting into one of those types of games like Skyrim or Oblivion, as soon as I got out of that first cave or jail cell, it's like, oh my God, this world's too big. I don't know what I want to do. There's too much.
I still love
Next game.
all the online memes where somebody gets hit or something happens and they black, and then all of a sudden it slowly it starts clearing up and it's the start of Skyrim. Like the slowest intro on earth. I'm just like, oh, I love that stuff.
Oh, jeez.
That's enough No Man's Sky. If you're interested, feel free to play with your friends from other consoles and see what those wacky PC people have been up to with it, apparently with their high-end PCs. Topic number 5, our last one for the day. Destiny 2 will never die. This one is talking about another expansion and some other upgrades. We'll let Chris take it away.
Bungie has revealed new details on the future of Destiny 2, including Destiny 2 Universe Season of Arrivals, the Destiny 2 Beyond Light expansion, and the news that anyone who owns any previous version of Destiny 2 will be able to upgrade to the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X versions for free. Bungie further detailed that Destiny 2 on PlayStation 5 and Series X will run at 4K, 60 frames per second, and all expansions owned by players will carry over at no extra charge. Furthermore, Destiny 2 will support intergenerational crossplay within console families, so PS4 to PS5, Xbox One to Series X, with the hope that full crossplay between all consoles will arrive in the next year or so.
That's interesting. I do like the PS5 to PS4 stuff. I mean, it makes sense. It's the same game. You just got it running on different consoles, so there's no reason it shouldn't.
If you almost feel though like you'd be that much more handicapped though, like a PS4 player playing on a system that's definitely not hitting 60 frames per second to a PS5 that's going to be locked at the 60 frames per second. I feel like you would.
Well, not only that, but like you guys are queuing up to do the Nightfall or whatever. You know, I'm just trying to remember the few terms I can remember. And all of a sudden he's ready like in 2 seconds and you're waiting.
The Nightfall's done already before you even get there.
So I'm like, yeah, your ship's just like holding his ship off. Like he wants to land and you got to float for a little longer.
I'll be honest. I'm excited for this. I wouldn't mind getting back into Destiny 2. It's been a long time since I played. I think I played everything. Almost, I didn't finish everything in the first season of the game, but I mean, now I think I don't know what season they're on, but I'm talking about season pass wise.
Yeah.
So like that year of releases, I've done most of the stuff in it, but I haven't done everything by any means. So I'd be almost tempted to definitely boot that up on PlayStation 5 at some point. I have one buddy that still plays it today, so he just loves that game.
Wow, that's
his go-to. I remember him getting Spider-Man, and he said he loves Spider-Man, and then I never see him on it. He's always playing Destiny, which kudos to him. He loves his game.
Yeah,
got his money worth.
I was one of those weird ones. I think I got through a lot of Destiny 1, and I was with it until the one that everyone talked about changed everything. Like that was the best expansion for it.
Yeah, don't ask me. I don't remember all the names, but it would have been the third major expansion one. So not like House of Wolves or the other one. There was the third one.
Yeah, so I made it till that, just before that released. And then Destiny 2, I don't think I made it very far at all. I felt like, it was exactly what I feared it was. I
don't even remember. Did we play Destiny 2 together?
Yes.
Did we? I don't even remember.
We did, but like, I checked out really fast because I was like, oh, this is Destiny 1.5.
The one thing that I hated the most was like from the first one, it was like, it felt really rewarding getting like an exotic weapon, like a unique weapon from the game. Whereas in Destiny 2, it just felt like they were throwing so many exotic weapons at you. It was like, this doesn't feel as rewarding because you're just giving me everything so fast. Like I just remember it's like, I think by the time I finished maybe the second character, I was like, I already had almost all the exotic weapons. I mean, they're still releasing new ones. Yeah. But it's like the base ones, it was like it didn't take very long to get them.
See, I guess I always had a different experience than you though, because in the first one,
you never got any of them.
I know I played just as much as you did until like we hit that time where I just left. And I never got anything ever. Like I was always consistently getting nothing. I never got
armor, exotic armor.
Galahorn. I never got that. I never got armors. It's just, so I had the opposite where I'm like, this isn't fun for me. I don't want to come back. Not to mention, it just became that game that I'm like, okay, I'll turn on Tuesday, get done with it for a week. Well, eventually you want to play something else that Tuesday. Yeah. And then so you kind of detach from your group, and then just for me, it just fell apart.
Yeah, for me, Destiny 1, we got together. I had a group of 6. Well, we had 7, so there was kind of someone that was always could be interchangeable just in case, you have something going on personally. But yeah, we would get together every Tuesday, do the raid, and then it would be like, the next expansion come out. Okay, let's do both raids. And it was like, okay, we're stretching ourselves too thin. And then Destiny 2, we definitely all 6 of us did Destiny 2, but we dropped a lot quicker in Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Like probably within the first month.
I hated that first raid. Like I just hated it.
Yeah. Yeah. When you have to look up, when the raid's not intuitive enough to just figure out on your own, where you pretty much have to watch someone do the whole raid to know how to do it.
Well, even
you kind of loses the
platformer stuff.
Oh, for sure, there was a lot of platforming.
This has always been my thing with Bungie, and people might get mad when I say this, but like Bungie doesn't understand movement, and all their games are always the worst jumping mechanics I've ever seen. Like even Halo, people praise Halo, and I've always been like, no. Like you're a sniper's wet dream every time you jump in that game, and I just don't know why they keep doing that stupid floaty jump, and then the stupid floaty jump and the inconsistency of it all, and then have these like levels in the raid that were like platformers.
The gauntlet is what he's referring to, where you have to run around that circle, jumping through holes
and just hope that you make it through a hole. Like, don't get me wrong, like the hardcore Destiny player is probably just so used to the mechanics by that point. But someone like me that's jumping on every Tuesday and just wants to get this piece of garbage done, it was impossible. So I literally just would purposely die just so you guys could finish it for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's more Destiny. I'm happy. I'm very okay with the free upgrade availability. Like that's great.
Did you have the digital version or the physical copy?
Digital.
So then, hey, you already have a PS5 game now.
Yeah, I just would never turn it on.
Yeah, you just don't think you probably wouldn't turn it on.
Well, because I get what it is. They're going to give it to me, sure, but
then you're still going to have to pay for the season
and
pass.
I'm probably so behind. Like I probably owe them a mortgage in terms of how far behind I am.
It's true. Yeah. Well, it's probably more price. The price is probably nice now, but maybe not. I don't know. I'm trying to remember back.
Well, probably not for the new one, like this one coming out here, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the prices of all the DLCs are. They never ever really reduced the price, from what I recall from the first one.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could still be pricey.
Yeah, it'd be my main concern. But I think I've had my time. I know Destiny 1, I put in like 200 hours or something. So I had an okay time with it. It's just I'm not the biggest first person guy to begin with, so the fact that I got that far was probably just because it's multiplayer. At the time, it was probably the best multiplayer you could get.
I would like to praise Bungie though. This is a good move, and I believe this is like just because they separated from Activision. I think this is a great thing.
Yep,
they can do what they want, make it how they want to, and just. They truly, I think, get their fans. Like they want their fans to be happy with what they're making.
Yeah.
So I totally support them and look forward to the next season, I guess.
No, and I second that. I'm really happy. Anything that's a free upgrade, I appreciate. We need more people doing that to help change the industry, so we're not all just buying slightly higher res versions, like kind of what happened to us at the PS3 to PS4 time. Like, oh, did you enjoy playing Last of Us? Well, guess what? You got to buy it again if you want to play on PS4.
With slightly better graphics.
Yeah, and like it's going to perform slightly better.
Even though it did look pretty darn good on the PS3 as is.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's the best looking game on there. So, yeah, no, kudos to them. I think their fans are going to be pretty happy with all this.
Definitely.
And who doesn't like crossplay nowadays?
I've never consoles wise.
Yeah.
Nobody wants a console PC crossplay.
Some people do.
PC players, because then they can wreck even more people.
Well, if they're masochists, then go have fun. But that's it for our news this week. So we're just going to end off with our little homework for you guys. So we're going to start with Cyberpunk 2077 will not be available on Stadia at launch. I added this one because it's just another Stadia failure. And I just love making fun of Stadia.
Since when did Stadia fail?
Oh, yeah. I only since concept, I think.
Yeah. Another one is Far Cry 6, reveal rumored to be on the way. It wasn't announced during the PlayStation event, so I guess it's still coming.
Maybe. It doesn't surprise me. Another Far Cry, like, obviously, they loved chucking those out.
Oh, yeah.
They were yearly at a time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So that's not surprising. And then the last one, We're a PlayStation podcast, but let's poke fun where there's fun to be poked. Nintendo confirms 140,000 accounts were hacked. And if you're one of those people, you have an account, good time to change your password.
Shit, I'm gonna have to look because I think I bought one of the Mario Karts a million years ago. So, who cares?
Yeah,
They've earned
Fun story. So I was silly enough to buy a Switch.
I remember this.
I had a Switch, so I made an account, probably the first Nintendo account I ever had. I think I purchased Breath of the Wild with it. And
you wanted to play the best game ever, I think, is what you said to me.
That's what I said. And then after 16 hours of that game, I was like, yeah, that's enough of this. So I sold the entire console. Probably the best decision I made.
You made money on it.
I made money on it because, fun fact, Nintendo likes to screw over their fans and intentionally short product, which then makes people like me able to gain money from selling a used console.
We have 1,000 people that want this system, but we're only going to make 500 systems.
Yep.
And then meanwhile, 10,000 people buy it just on the hopes to upsell it to the people who wanted it originally.
Yeah, it's unfortunate cycle they seem to go through every time. But yeah, I don't want to, dampen anyone, but just if you have a Nintendo account, change your password and look forward to more news from that. So that's everything for this week. Thanks for listening to the show. We appreciate you. Like I said, please spread the word. We're growing pretty good here, so we just want to keep that going. It's all thanks to you guys. So again, we just appreciate you listening and giving us any of your time. Thank you.
And right after this, we're going to release a bonus episode where we talk about the PlayStation event that just happened.
That's it from us, and we are signing off.
Bye.
Bye.